Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Marco Waters for xTool Squad live version. So, at this moment in time, I'm streaming live on a few platforms like the xTool Facebook pages, Instagrams, YouTube, and a few other. However, right in this moment, I'm still alone on the channel, so I take the chance to tell you what we're gonna do today. Today is going to be the last live episode for me for this week, and I'm having a large variety of items that I can show you. Been with Xtool professionally for the last good 4 years. I gone through a few tours, a lot of different lasers, and I basically had the honor of being put in charge for telling you what your business will need to improve and to pass from a DIY uh, level to a proper business that makes you make money. Now, uh, going to show you a few of the things that I can do with the laser. But before of that, I'm going to tell you what laser you can discover with me. Pretending that I can actually manage to move the tripod. There you go. So we have in the P3, which is basically the working horse, one of the flagship machine of xTool. Then the small one and the one more attached to the F1 original, which is a dual laser, which means inside that little thing is having, let me just show it a little bit closer. There you go. This one is inside two different lasers, a diode laser and the fiber laser. The difference is, well, huge. A lot of details to talk about, but mainly with one, you can cut and carve materials like plastic, acrylic boards, and do some little job on the glass, and especially work on metal. Metal, for example, like this dog tag. There are periods of time, like a summertime, when summertime comes, these sort of items they really go wild. So if you have in a shop online like I do, by the way, my one, if you want to check it out, is the one on the bottom of the page here, the screen. And eventually, if you check some of the items, you can either ask me how they are made or also with what laser are made. I'm there for you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna lead you to the way of the professional craftsman, the laser craft that you might want to get into with your business. Anyway, there is also something that this machine can do, and that is due for the size of the plate and also the power. Inside of the F1 original, we do have two different lasers, a diode of 10 watt and a infrared laser of, well, just 2 watts, which is powerful enough to create some damage, but not enough to work large items or perhaps emboss stainless steel rings like the one that I fancy having on. Now, to obtain such a job, like a precision cut, and that is especially the depth out of a material as dense as a stainless steel, you might want to step up the game, perhaps if you're ready with your business, and then go towards, well, not the working horse, I'm gonna take you there in a minute, but towards this. This is the F1 Ultra. Now, I told you the power that the small one has. Well, this one is basically the same thing, bigger version. It's a larger brother. This is having inside the same system, dual laser. The diode laser, though, is double the power, 20 watt. And the fiber laser, hold your chairs, is 20 watt. Can literally carve like nothing into, well, basically all the materials. With this one, you can allow yourself to print and cut on aluminum, glass, plastic, uh, wood, you name it. Is a jolly machine. And as well as the others, they are, as we like to call them, money-making machine. So more than an expense for your weekend hobby is actually an investment for your business. It doesn't matter if you just began laser cutting and printing materials, or if you're already an advanced colleague at this point. These machines are uh, as good as professionals, as good as new beginners. Why? Because the user friendly software that we offer, that is anyway a free software and always will be a free one. You can find it on xtool.com together with machines, materials, and all the other services that we have to offer. Now, this software is extremely user friendly software that allows you to craft objects, we can say almost out of nowhere, thanks to these machines and to the engineering that is behind the coding of software and machine at once. Now, we continuously updating and adding features to both machines and software. Behind there's a large squad, we can tell, of people that increase, let's say, raise the stack to a new level. For example, this last year, we incremented with a quite powerful AI that can help you building objects like layered materials, like some of the one that I'm leaving behind, like this one perhaps, these two birds here that are made on acrylic, or perhaps some of these other, let me just get you close to, there you go, this cardboard products like this coffee that I'm preparing as a collection for a new challenge we have on the website. Once again, the website is always xtool.com, where you can find products, you can find our demo lesson, the skill training of some of our Surface expert users, and also a ton of these projects. Some free, some with a little like coffee cost, which obviously, as a designer, we spend some time behind to create for you the best project ever that you just need to download, send to the machine, and print it on. Now, quite a few of these projects are also available for sale. So that means that once you have in the project in your computer, you are able to reproduce the item and freely put it on your bench on the market, on your shop, or on your line business. That's going to be totally up to you. We are in here to create and to inspire. So be ready today to get inspired, because we have in roughly left about 50 minutes left for me to show you what these machines can do. We're going to focus more on obviously the dual laser, because I want to show you what can be achieved on plastic and on metal. Perhaps if we still have in some time left, I'm going to show you what can be done on glass as well. However, going back to what the software allows you to do and to create, there are some algorithm inside. There is the AI inside of the XCS that can make you create with such an ease objects like this little wooden bag. Now, instead of having this sort of system out of a solid board of wood, make you create such a pretty stage. Now, this one, for example, this is not one of my design. I didn't made to sell it, but I wanted to show you what the capabilities are of this machine. This same project can be achieved with obviously different sizes with any of the three lasers that I'm having. Well, in this case, I will be more precise to say the 5 lasers that I'm having in the workshop. As I say, once again, it's just a matter of the size. Size matters, and then the difference is basically the only one of the only few real difference in between them. However, now to let you, before then getting into actually making an object today, I'm going to show you what these lasers can achieve you creating. For example, if you are into metal objects, there is this sort of job that you can do. This is an hard drive, right? It's a SSD. And I can promise you it works. And why these devices works like this SSD, or even crazier, but not the craziest, of this iPad. Now, this is a fully working iPad. It's still having the the film on top, and yes, I can promise you it does switch on and works quite fine. You are see me through the other little brother of this other iPad. And this engrave, as you can tell, the resolution, the quality is quite high. And however, it does not compromise what is inside. The logic board is inside, it does not get warmed up. Why? Because we are not going to use a diode laser that is mainly, not only, but mainly designed to cut material, but we're going to use the infrared. The infrared is having a different length wave. The laser react with the material, not over burning or cutting it through, but just changing the chemical composition. So it does not damage the structure of the surface and then consequentially the atom and the logic board behind, but just change the chemical composition of the actual layer. And yes, once you get into this sort of project, let me warn you, it is going to be addictive because there is gonna be maybe sometimes some wasting of material, but most of the time it's gonna be a joyful success. And I can promise you one thing: once you get the first one right, you're gonna get nuts enough to start creating things like this one on all your electronic devices, passing from these more expensive species to the most simple objects like mic covers like this one, or either one other object much more commercial. In this case, what I mean for much more commercial is, you know, everyone gets like water bottles on the job and all around the places. Now, to engrave these ones, you might notice it ain't a flat thing. It's gonna be not the same easy than printing your dog tag marker. Yeah, that's true. But you have in several different options to go from a flat surface to a curved surface today and keep holding a prime quality that you can be confident to deliver to your clients over and over from your business. Now, what I mean for different way to print. Hello, Petri. I love the machine. It's nothing about it. Oh, it's making me so much money. That thing is unbelievable. All right, little bracket. So to pass from a flat surface to a rounded surface, well, doesn't really matter um, if it's a wood, plastic, or metal. In this case, for the moment, we're gonna work on the F1. The material almost doesn't matter. The shape, though, that one it might be the challenge because if you wanna print on such a surface, you can either restrict the area, so you might gonna end up having the chance to only write on a line. So you're in an area that I want to show you graphically what I mean. There you go. So you can either choose to take it easy and realize some nice and neat. I mean, it's still a professional finish. I don't say no, but passing from this simple print that you can just lay the item on a base plate and keep printing like nothing change it, or going ballistic and going all around the bottle. Now, this print that you are seeing in this moment, it is a one go. So once the sign is placed onto the canvas, we are gonna clamp this one onto the rotor, the RA3 in my case. I did begin with the RA2, but for obvious reason, I wanted to switch to the new upgraded version, the RA3. That allows me to do anyway this job at once. without worrying or wasting material. Because as you, you might as well know, your time is precious. Then the less time you spend in doing a job, the more objects you can actually sell. So why am I pointing towards this one? Because people sometimes is worried that these lasers are costing something. The accessory as well, they cost even more. And they are worried to just spend too much money on an hobby. Well, I'm telling you one thing, you might even do this one on a weekend, but I promise you, these machines, they pay themselves. Now, you might have seen I've having more than one piece, and every single time I buy something from xTool, the machine end up being paid in just a 4 to 6 month time, as long as I'm consistent in putting out there for selling my own idea and drawings, or as well the item that I produce with these machines. Now, difference between these two rotary. This is a previous version. Is the RA2. Really solid, almost fully metallic machine. It's kind of like contained inside as well, in size as well. And it's having these rods that are ideal for rings. Let me show you. With this same device, you can just pop the ring onto the rods, clamp it tight, and then you can print on the outside. And perhaps if you put in the ring on the inside of those same rows, you're gonna be able to, in a way, print either inside of the rings. Okay? But now we have a difficult process to be done here, because this, as you can tell, is one solid piece. You can actually move it much. So you need to either position something underneath or make some funny movement, risking that during the process the item gonna move, and then you wasted perhaps a golden ring of your client. So for as much as I am attached to this item sentimentally, as much as a small F1 original, if you are into a little bit more than a DIYer, I would suggest you to look into this version. Now, this is the RA3, the next up, the new upgraded version of the rotor from xTool. One of the good points is that is basically coming apart with just a thumb screw or two, has almost no screws. That makes any process with the rotary very, very much faster. Pretending you match in the holes, obviously. And that's it. Now the motor part is mounted onto the plate, and the only thing I need to do to engrave the same ring is, let's say, let's start directly from the inside. I just need to like pop the ring inside of the clamp, nice and tight, without even moving the rotor from underneath of the laser. And that's it. It's ready to be printed. Now you say, okay, that's the outside, but you still need to move the full structure. No, in this case, with the upgraded version, I just need to release this top and then flip it, finding the perfect angle so that the laser can hit only the internal surface. Now, in this way, I can print a metal ring of a client coming at the shop in less than 5 minutes. Obviously, having this beast at the back, we know that we can engrave not only rings, not only metal, but also pens. Sometime, especially beginning of the schools, September or Christmas times, there is one item that really goes nuts. And well, I would say probably two different items that goes like ballistic. And having one of these extension is gonna make the difference. One of them are pens. Then I'm gonna show you the minute I to engrave underneath of the machine. The other one are Christmas balls, or in my case, the item where my business actually grew up the most, which is pool balls. To achieve this sort of result, well, you don't really want to squeeze the size down to a coin. So you want to have a larger print. To do so, you need to put the item into the clumps and then make sure the laser can go from edge to edge. And the only way you have it is actually having one of these things. Now, I believe you already heard me talking enough, so I'm gonna take the camera a little closer and I'm gonna share my screen with you so that you can see what this laser is capable of. And in the meantime, I want to remind you that if you want to check what these machines are about, what prices we do, and what other service we are having to offer from xTool and our beloved squad, you can head out to xtool.com, or perhaps check this website of mine here on the corner of the screen, where you can find all the links to my shop, the socials, and obviously xtool website where you can find all the service and machines we have in stock for you. Now, let's get this software ready. Okay. Okay, let's say we want to then engrave a pen. And for the moment, I'm having my beloved cutter that helps me so much, so very much into the post-finishing processes. I'm going to show you how to engrave this item. This is a steel item, obviously. So I'm just gonna open a project. And pop the rotor underneath. I'm purposely putting in there before because I want to show you how easy it is to remove it without actually removing it. And I'm gonna make myself more clear in just a second. All right, the item is now connected. As most of you know, a few of these items have the camera inside the head of the laser. In this case, we are talking about a 48 megapixel wide angle camera. So I just need to like get the item inside. Oh, almost forgot one important part. We always need to measure what is the circumference of the diameter of the items. In this case, we do have 8 millimeters. So now that we know that data, we're just gonna plumb solid underneath of the laser the items. This is obviously an operation that you can comfortably do pretending is an item is bigger, like a mug or like a wine glass or so on. You can also do it out, as I say, of the laser. There you go. Now we're popping the item nice and tight into the clamp and consequentially into the laser. Remember, these two dots that you see in here, they are the pointer at the actual laser point, okay? So those blue and red laser, they have to become a purple dot, because for any laser, one of the main things is getting in focus. It's like a bit more like doing a photography. So the more in focus you are, the better the result will be. All right, so let's take another little picture to make sure the item is actually back in place. And I made this writing. Now, this is a XCS is a software that is extremely user friendly. And for user friendly, I mean that even pretending that I know nothing about lasers, I can easily start creating. Let's say I'm gonna make it easy for you, and I'm gonna write on the go some other phrase. Let's say, there you go. Select the writing tools, and let's change the font. I want a funky one. That's it. This one will do. Actually, this one I like it more. Let's stick with this one. Now, how do I choose these settings or some other settings? I'm having two ways. One, I run an array test, which can be easily done like that. The software will prepare the graphic for you, and you just need to put inside here the parameters you want to explore. Then it creates you the grid based on the data you gave it. And it's something that's going to look like that. So with this one, you can add it on to the surface and then test which one is the parameter that goes better for your items. Or else you can just simply go here on the material, select from the library what the material is. Obviously, it's divided into colors, into material, where is wood, glass. There is like a ton of different items, a ton of different settings that you can freely use. You can either achieve with this infrared laser that we are about to use, you can either achieve some white color on the steel or some dark. For the moment, I want to achieve something dark, very simple, very quick printing, something more commercial that you can basically do on the go. I'd say I'm going to go for the data are already in my mind. I did, let's say, a couple of times already. And then I'm going to place the graphic on top of the item. In this case, we need to just reduce, so we can either move it with the mouse or just go in and write here the dimension that we want to use. At this point, you're almost ready to go. Why almost? Because using the rotary, you have perhaps the possibility to have like a 3D preview thanks to the upgraded AI into the software, but you need to bear in mind that this is like printing onto the ring. So with this machine, you just need to have it on the right way, you need to take the design, flip it around specularly, then perhaps also check how it's looking like straight onto the item to see if it's placed correctly. Now you won't be seeing it because a little far, but there you go. That is where the item is going to be printed. There is one recommendation before we hit the start button. Do protect your eyes. As I usually say on my channel, for whoever wants to check it is how to laser, and it's 90% based on xTool laser, so go and check it out. That helps me out every follow, so like and subscribe, as we usually say. Thank you. Then I was about to say, protect your eyes. You're only having to, and these lasers, as much as beautiful and money making and whatever else you want, they are also very powerful. So they might be dangerous. So do shield your eye with the proper glasses, the proper rated lenses glasses for lasers, or simply just put down the shields. As I say, it is just a fraction of seconds that is needed to damage your eyes forever. So protect them. Better be safe than sorry, isn't it? Now, enough chat and recommendation. Let's start printing. So we know that the print is going to happen right on the top of the item and has a dimension and the kind of style that we want. So we hit the print, and in less than 40 seconds, boom, fire in the hole. The writing that we easily prepare, pretending we don't actually know nothing about laser, is going to be professionally engraved into an item. While that one is printing, I would like to show you a similar result on a similar object. This is the same sort of steel, slightly harder, actually. And this is what is a result that is being achieved in such a small size in about a couple of minutes. As you can tell, it's very small, but it's also very, very clear. And we are still talking about stainless steel. These same results can also be achieved onto plastic. But before we get into that, and these are your examples, I want to show you what the result is onto this. There you go. This is the first line that we just made together, guys. Hopefully I can put it on focus for you. There you go. So this is the correct way to print. While instead this one that I prepared for you earlier is the one that, well, is supposed not to be printed this way because it was supposed to be made specular. Now you can avoid to play around with the side of the printing if you choose a different function. And it means you can have, I'm going to show you from the screen anyway, you can have different, many different attachment and processing modes. From the flat base, the more simple elemental, to the rotary attachment and the chuck that we just use for engraving the cutter. For example, between these two, the rotation is inverted. So while you're printing on the specular graphic, something on the outside of a ring, a bottle, or a pen, well, you don't need to actually convert the graphic while you're printing on the inside of it. Let's say the names and date, the marriage date inside of a wedding ring. If you want to know more about this specific function and how to mess around with rings and spheric objects, you can either reach out to me through this website or xTool.com, where there is a demo room ready for you, where I can host a one-to-one session, or just go head up on my YouTube channel, How to Laser. And there are a couple of episodes where I'm talking about this sort of procedure in a bit more depth, where I'm showing you how to print and carve wedding rings. We're talking about golden ones, so serious stuff, and how to also screw them up because I made some mistake. At the end, I'm a human as well. However, if you want to have a laugh and actually learn something a little bit more about laser, just head on the channel or reach out to me through any of the commercial channels like my Instagram page, xTool Facebook pages, or else my website. I'll be there for you. And if you hit it up after this streaming session is already over, just write one-to-one in the comments and I'll do my best to reach out and ask how can I help you. Next step. We understand now that this F1 Ultra is great for metal. It can carve, it can cut, it can whatever. But what can I do on acrylic? Well, now their thing gets nuts. You can cut and carve this acrylic board, and as for the model, as for the laptop that I showed you before, the structure of the object is completely intact. You chemically change the material, but you do not compromise the structure. And you can achieve easily this sort of color grading, or even work on transparent plastic, clear plastic, like this one. Look how nice this is. This is one go, it's less than a 5-minute job, and imagine on your shop, you even like prepare cut pieces of offcut from your laboratory, you go on the market, and then you having like 20 of these wasted pieces that become 20 selling items right on the spot, people can ask you, oh, I want to personalize this with this name, with that signature, with that drawing. Yes, you can do it, and you can do it at the professional level every single time. Now, I also want to show you something else. I want to show you what can the highest standard, the F1 Ultra from xtool.com can offer you. So that you can be confident enough to tell your potential clients and, well, even through your website perhaps, that you can achieve quality, photographic quality on top of any material, of any surface, and any color. So this is a sort of high resolution standard that F1 Ultra can achieve. And once again, we're passing from plastic to wood to metal. But what about glass? There are a lot of people that celebrate events like birthdays and premiation, prizes of competitions, and marriage, and whoever. The more you have in, the more you put. You're having glass most of the time. And what if it's a glass if it's not a mirror? Then I got you covered, guys. Because these laser machines are, yes, great also on glass. For example, look at this. This is a normal mirror. Hey, say hi yourself. So this is a more normal mirror, and this is a fix that is just being printed in the glass itself. You can either make an effect like this one, or make it become white. It only depends where you're printing. So now imagine a glass of wine to be printed with the Mr. and Mrs. of the year. Cool, you can totally do that. And how? You can just set the laser straight, make sure it's focused on the right point, and then there comes the tricks that I, in details, teach on my channel and on the demo lessons, one-to-one that I told about before. But if you wanna try and get it wrong until you get it right by yourself, well, be my guest. This is a little hint that I give you, and this is come from Jay, one of my lovely colleagues. Uh, thanks for the push towards this sort of resolution. During the years, I did try to print with different kind of lasers, uh, different kind of glasses, and there is no much difference in between. If you're using, let's say, a clear glass and the laser, it's like, let's just keep it easy and let's say that it is not the easiest task to do. There are tricks, there are layering, there are paints, and there is a lot of mess and a lot of post finishing, and it's like something that you really want to do on the go, unless you have in this. This is a pen that you can find obviously online, and is what makes your life easy. During the years, I tried to use covers and tapes and acrylic paint and tempera paint, you name it, Sharpie markers. There it was like a tons of different try that I did, a lot of different taste, and every one of them took me to a different, not perfect finishing, and also a time-consuming post-finishing process. With this stuff, you just simply mark on top of the piece of glass you're about to work on, do your job with a laser, and wash it off. Just literally under the sink, washing off. That's it, Bob's our uncle. You're done. And so, if you're about to engrave glasses, it can either be drawing, it can either be just simple names. Just do yourself a favor, grab one of these pens, and you'll be able to consistently give, obviously, the usual professional service to your people. How to make money out of these laser machines? Well, simple. Once you get on board buying one of these machines, by the way, if you're about to, you already know, just head on the website and get your machine sorted. If not, just ask me out. I'll be there to suggest which one is better for your task, for your business. And I actually am I'm lying. My tongue is going nuts today. I'm sorry. Time to drink some water. Now I'm fresh. As I was about to say, I am allowed to give you some discount. Does discount come from my actual demo lesson, where I'm gonna show you what the potentiality of the machine is, what they can do, how you can make money out of it. Because say, okay, you can either be an expert, you can either be a DIYer, just as simply interested in the laser. So you basically cool know or know nothing about design. That's not the problem, because the software we having is not the only freebie xTool has to give you. There is also the platform, which is called Atom, where ourselves as a pro user and designers upload the free work that we made, the free canvas that we prepared, and also the various settings. So once you're in one of these machines, you can just simply head off to Atom. On obviously you can find it through xtool.com, and choose the project that best does for you. You can find or also generate with the new AI functions a light whole bulb holder, a tray, a wooden tray, a layer stack mandala job, frames and pictures. For example, if you head on my Atom profile, you might find several commercial projects that you can download and have fun with. We're talking about from glass, metal, plastic, and perhaps even rock coasters. Those ones have been quite successful, I have to say. Or else you can find some more detailed and peculiar job that I just put down there on the website for a price of a coffee. After all, we're spending some time to prepare them, and well, it would be nice to contribute. Coffee, coffee tips. Now, say this, I might going to pick some other random item I'm having here in the workshop, and I'm gonna show you probably in these last few minutes what also not only the P3 can do, but how the P3 and the P3 and the F1 Ultra can work. So if you're about to ask me any question, if you have any curiosity, any detailed info that you need to know or want to hear about any of the lasers that we're offering, please feel free to write a message here in this chat, on the socials, or perhaps if you are watching this video after the streaming, just write one-to-one or your question into the comments, and I'll do my best to reach out and satisfy your curiosity. Now, I'm gonna shut up for a minute or two and then set some new pretty work for you on the big working horse, the P3. Uh, this one is one of the new projects I just baked this afternoon. And if any one of you is asking, how? Oh my God, you're falling on from a side. My bad. Okay. And if you ask yourself, yes, but that's very details, very thin, and also complicated. How much time would this machine have needed to do this job? Well, 18 and a half minutes. So imagine, this obviously you can tell is like a part of a different voice, having a base to where to put, because it means to be a sunrise. Drawing this one as a sunrise. It's a bit, I know it's a bit strange sunrise, but hey, that's what the end product is going to be. And this is an 18-minute job. So imagine doing such a complicated job like this one, spending 2 to 3 quid for the piece of wood and selling it for a 60 online. So yeah, I must show you how this machine works. I'm literally in love for all of them, but this one is guy's sweet spot for me. And before we close, I'm going to tell you a couple of news about this channel. And obviously, some new machines are about to come on the market thanks to the xTool engineers. Okay, so I want to show you this project that I found obviously on the website that I just described you, the xtool.com, precisely on Atom platform. I'm going to take from the many pieces of scrap wood that I made in the workshop, 3 millimeters maple wood. Okay, this is birch wood, sorry. Then simply pop it inside the machine. Almost there. Stay with me. Now I'm putting this piece of wood in a quite of a funny position to show you what the how easy is to use, even if I acting funny and pretending I don't actually know how to use it. So first thing first, as you can see from the other screen, I need to connect the P3 and enable able mode. While this machine is having 4 different cameras, 16 different the 16 different sensors, and on top you can see this is a kind of like a traffic light red sensor. Now that one, once in position, it gets green. So I only need to lower the hood delicately, obviously. Now the laser is going to find the material, get the size of it, out all of this automatically, identify what kind of wood is, leveling up the plate, and then give me an high resolution picture. Let me take it through the other side. There you go. I put it up here so that once we start, you can actually see what it is going on into the machine. Maybe. All right, I really need a cameraman, do I? Okay, so while the piece of wood is all in a funky position, I just need to select the item that I want to engrave and roll them around. So now I'm manually nesting the items, but I could either ask the software to do it for me with this function that I find in the application. We can do it grid array, like I showed you before, or batch filling, or smart nesting, which is basically the function to select the items and then put them into the scan piece. In this case, this piece of wood. The software is going to be automatically recognize the shape and then adjust them for you. Now, like my manager say, I like make my life complicated sometimes, so I'm just gonna do it manually. So for us is almost some Valentine now. So why don't we random put this item here? As you can tell, I'm very close to the edge, but I'm leaving these two on purpose close to the edge because I want to show you how precise is going to be the cut. And anyway, all of this is ready to be printed. I can isolate layers, change the color, the identification colors, and do a lot of tons of other stuff thanks to the powerful and friendly, user-friendly software. And as you can tell, in 2.5 minutes, we're gonna have the little art box ready for San Valentine just cut it through. Now this is obviously in real speed, and as you can tell, all the parts are already falling from the wood with just one simple pass. This is a powerful laser, but it's also fairly safe. For example, if anything happens, there is a CO2 bottle that's gonna suffocate the eventual fire instantaneously inside of the machine. Or let's say you are distracted, or there is your kids around, and then they're gonna leave the hood of the machine. Well, you can feel reassured it's a safe machine, and I'm about to demonstrate you how fast the machine reacts and how fast it can stop, avoiding you getting into trouble or well, getting radiation right into your eyes. There you go. It's instantaneously stopping as a class one once. So I take this chance to pop one of the pieces out, put down again, and I can press start again to make the machine finish the job for me. As you can tell, I kept safe. Pieces are falling apart as it was in the project. And once again, the quality is impeccable. Now imagine this job to be done like over and over for a wedding date or a welcoming party. You can do like several pieces at a time with just the P3. But if you're about a larger production, you want to get full-time pro and so, then try and look into the conveyor. The conveyor is something that allows you to put inside of the machine larger tunnels, like the one that I'm about to show you. I usually take, okay, I usually take this sort of like a big long panel that are of a size of by 5 meters. Yes, you heard me right. 5 meters, because that is the maximum length the P3 can take. So as large as the front mouth and as long as the software can take. So you can put a batch of works, a batch of job and graphics to be colored and printed because you can do both of the things at once without removing the material even. And well, just simply making money. That's all about it is. Now, remember that I told you I left the square near to the edge to show you how precise this machine can be? And there you go. Check from the other screen how close it was, and then you can see how precise it is. This is about 2 millimeters thick, okay? There you go. The machine was like so accurate and delicate that did not break even the thin of a layer. Now, let's get rid of a second of this piece of wood, and let's mount a San Valentine box together. Oopsie. I'm showing you this one live because I want to show you how easy it is to create something even without spending the actual time to create the piece. Because once again, you can go online and get the item, the design from Atom, where ourselves as a engineer and expert user prepared it for you. Okay, last piece, last Christmas. Almost there. And there you have, out of a single piece of wood, the San Valentine working box, ready to be eventually painted and put online for sale. Now, before we closing this streaming, and hopefully centering myself, it's getting a bit funky. Okay, before closing this streaming, I'm gonna tell a couple of news of what is coming later this year from xTool and machine. But if you want to know more about the details and the characteristic of any of the laser you saw today, and you might gonna see in the future on my YouTube channel or on this streaming, just hit me up in a message. No problem. I'll give you all the info that you might need. Probably even too many info that you're gonna need. However, back to the news. Breaking news, this year we are launching two new machines, and one of them is the UV laser. So on this channel, you will be seeing next month, from 1.5 months actually, from today, you're gonna be seeing a DTF and the UV printing machine. So the UV, I can't tell you much. I just tell you that is unbelievably good results that's coming out of it. The thing you can do with the layering of the machine and with the multicolors and the function and the rapidity of the UV machine laser is insane. Whoever or whichever of us has had the chance to try it is just come out with a mind-blowing results. So I can't really tell you much. I can't really tell you the numbers or the positions of the head, the plates and stuff, details like that. I'm not allowed to. But one thing I'm allowed to tell you is coming by the summer, and is coming hard. So stay tuned because it will be, this shop will be getting full color, and there will be thanks to the UV laser. But sorry about the UV printer machine from xTool. It's gonna be a blast. However, before of this little expensive, beautiful machine, there is one other thing that's gonna pop in the shop, and this is the DTF. DTF that takes all your commercial interest and DIY ideas to life with colors. Like this bag, yeah, we inspire creation is actually our motto that I actually love so much and share deeply. You can go from simple design like this one on a cotton bag, talking about seconds, to a more complicated work that many clients actually request. Like, can you please print a picture on my hoodie? Yeah, sure, why not? And it comes like that. Now, this is my beloved colleague, right? And yes, the quality of the DTF is high, but it is not high the price as much as it's not long the time to do this job. Now, this one, all of this high resolution image and the writing on top has been made in just slightly less than 5 minutes. So it's been printed, powdered, dried, and ready to be stuck on the bag. So imagine you are out there and serving your clients on your shop, on your line, on your market, whichever is the case. Then you can do a full color like this one, or to be more precise because numbers matters. Let's say you want to print a square image like that one, which is a 20 by 22 centimeters, and you having the Russian customer that is running late for a birthday present, no problem. The guy can, as soon as you start, as you press start on the machine prints in less than 5 minutes. In less than another 5 minutes, you can iron the print on top of your material. It can be a hoodie, as you can tell. I'm making quite a few samples on top of myself. I really adore these machines, if you can tell by yourself. And in 10 minutes away, your client will be going out of your shop with a custom design object that to you costed nearly nothing. We're talking about 30, 40p. And to be made, but the value of that item is actually well over the 20 quid. So charging 15 to 20 pounds for a gift like that one that costed you 30p and 10 minutes of your time, well, trust me, guys, is much more than worth the investment. I'm about to do that. Next month will be here the machine, and a few months after the UV. So remember to stay tuned and stay creative. This is Marco Waters, and for today is everything. Catch you on the other side.